Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In last video we made this blouse and I promised you that in the next video I would make a skirt out of that same fabric. So we're going to do that in this video. I will make a jeans style skirt, so it will not be really in the style of the plaid you would expect. I'll show you with the inspiration pictures why I did that, but it will be a very nice skirt. And as I said in the tutorial where we made that blouse, I don't think I will match it with the blouse, although it's the same fabric, because I think I will look like a little girl. But we'll see how it turns out and what it will look. But it's the same really nice fabric, the seersucker plaid, that I really love. So I'll show you what we're gonna make. I found all these pleated mini skirts that are very on trend right now, and they look really good. And also my fabric is very suitable to make such a skirt. But the problem is I already have 3 of these skirts and I really don't need a 4th one. So I've been debating, but I decided to make the model of a jean skirt. So that's the 2 on the right side. Of course that is a totally different fabric, but with my fabric I can make that for sure also. It just will look a little bit different, but those jean skirts are also very nice to make and very nice to wear. So I will make that pattern out of my gingham fabric. So jean skirt style. So what we do is we make just a straight on skirt, like the basic pattern of the skirt. I will link that up here and down in the description box, where you can make that pattern, of course, for free. You make it to your own sizing. We make insert pockets, and I have a special sewing class on how to make that. That's separate from the basic pattern for the skirt. So I will link also that tutorial how you can make those insert pockets. I'm not sure of the seam in the front that you normally have for a jean skirt. Of course you should also have the zipper in the front, but I don't really like a zipper in the front for a skirt, because then you get some bulk here, and when you want to wear your top over your skirt it doesn't really look that nice. So I like to put my zipper in the back, but if you want to make here a zipper with a fly, of course you can do that. I also have a tutorial for that, so you can find that also down in the description box and up here in the corner. I certainly will not make the zipper here, but I'm not really sure yet about the seam here because of the plaid fabric. Of course you can just, or you should make sure that the lines will continue of the plaid, but I'm not really sure if it will look better when you make a seam here, because the vertical lines will not match up, and I think it will be disturbing. So I think I will not do a seam in the front. Of course we have a seam in the mid back for the zipper and for the slit, because you need it, because this is a watertight skirt. Then the insert pockets. We will have a waistband with belt loops if you like. You don't have to. I will not use the darts in the front of the skirt. I will use darts in the back of the skirt, but only 1 on either side, and the basic pattern has 2, so I will show you when we use the basic pattern how you can change that up, and also how you can skip the darts in the front without losing the fit for your basic pattern. So that will be what we will make. You can also use this, of course, for really different fabric, like a jeans or a twill. That looks very nice. I have some skirts of this out of twill, and then you have really that jean skirt that you saw in the inspiration picture. And those are really versatile skirts. I really like to wear them. You certainly use this same pattern for a skirt like that. The length, of course, you can decide how long or how short you want it to be. I will go around mid-thigh, I think, but of course you can make it shorter or longer, whatever you prefer. So I used my basic pattern for a skirt, and I will leave the link to the sewing class where you can make that pattern down below in the description box and here in the upper right corner. What I didn't use the dart here in the front, and you can eliminate that just by folding it in and then use the new width that you get. And I already have drawn on my pattern where the line will be if I take out my dart, because I often don't use that dart, so I just can cut it off like here. But what I also did, we want insert pockets here, and I also have a tutorial about that. I will also link that down in the description box, how to make the pattern for this insert pocket. And it looks like this, and it means that you cut off here from the side of your pattern that curved line, and you add that because you have here that pocket part, and then you show around that curved edge you sew your pocket onto it, and here you have then the rest of your pattern piece that was here, this line. So in that tutorial you can see just how to do it. It's really not that difficult. So I also cut off two of these patterns, one for the left and for the right side. What I wanted to do is make the line of my plaids not going on, but just skipping a bit, that you can really see that it is an insert. But I didn't have enough fabric. It wasn't possible for me to skip it just a centimeter to get the black line to the white line. So when I sew them on, this line will be continuous, what you like for the side seams and for the mid front and for the mid back. But because here I wanted just to have it skipped, but I really couldn't get it. I tried all different kinds on the fabric that I had left, but I couldn't skip it. So when I have sewn these together, it will still be a nice continuous line that in this case I didn't really like, but it doesn't really matter. And later, when I really had been struggling how to do it, and I cut these pieces for the left and for the right side, I thought, well, I could have just cut off here that part that will be visible for the insert, and then the rest of your pattern you can cut out of just a plain white cotton or whatever, because the only thing that you will see is this part, the insert. And when you cut that part off out of the white fabric, just with a little bit more of seam allowance, you can just cut this part out of just whatever fabric, because you won't see it. It will be from the inside, so I didn't have to struggle that much. I could have just cut out that curved part that is visible, the insert, at the right place. But now I had already these two, so I thought, well, never mind, I will do it just like this. But if you want to make that skip in the pattern, you can use just this part of your insert from the white fabric, and then use the other part from another fabric. So you can do that if you like that. So that is for the front. Then for the back, the basic pattern has two darts. I only used one, and again what you do is just you fold in the one that you don't want to use. You can clip it with a paper clip or something, and then you get your new side seam here, and then you cut that out. This one I will use, so I marked that on my fabric where that should be. And also I made my fabric a little bit shorter than the basic pattern is, because this is quite longer skirt. It's quite a bit below my knees, and I wanted this just way shorter, so I cut that a little bit shorter. And then I marked till where my zipper will be, and also till where I want my slit to be in the mid back. And this is just open, so two separate pieces. Of course the front one is on the fold here. Then what I also did is I cut, I didn't put that on the drawing, but I also cut two pockets, and I will certainly put them just not in line with the lines, but just skipping, so that the black line goes to the white line underneath, because you can really see then that this is a pocket on top of it, because when you line them up, I think now on camera you don't even see that there's a pocket line. So when I skip it, I think you can see it better. So that's what I will do. I don't know the measurements, but I will leave them here on the screen for you as measurements how big my pockets will be. And then I cut a waistband, of course the length of your waist. I made it 6 centimeters wide, so I cut it 8 because I need 1 centimeter seam allowance on either side. I didn't have enough fabric, so I had to make 2 pieces and I pinned them here together. I will show that it will be nicely continuous, that you don't see that there is a seam line. But if possible, I will put just here a loop belt just where the seam is for the waistband. And for that I got 5 loop belts, belt loops. Those are 4 centimeters wide and 6 centimeters long. And we will put them 2 in the front, 2 on the sides on the back, and 1 in the mid back, just around the mid back. So those are the pieces that you will need. You'll start with the pockets in the front, and you will have here your insert pockets. And what you do is you put right sides together here along the insert. And then, I don't have, oh I have my pins here. You pin them together, and then you sew that line. Make cuts here in the corner, and then you flip it to the underside, and I will show you how you do that with my pins like this. So you sew that down, then you flip it underneath, and I will do a jeans top stitching on this skirt, so that means you do a double top stitching. Well, you don't have to, but I will do 1 top stitching right at the edge, and then 1/2 centimeter inwards. And then you have that jeans-like top stitching that looks very nice. So you flip that back to the inside. I'll show you when I turn it over. Like that. And then you flip that back. And then you already have your insert. You can pin them together here at the side seam and here on the top, so that you have nicely this line when you have to sew your side seam later on. And here this attached when you going to attach your waistband. So that is just very simple to do, and it gives that nice insert pocket part for your skirt or your trousers. So it's really not difficult. So we're going to sew that on both the sides and then do the top stitching around that curve. Part is done. Nice 2 little pockets here. What you can do now is here sew the bottom of the pockets closed, then they are just nicely finished. I didn't make a seam here in the mid front because I thought it will just look messy, because you can line up the stripes, but then it doesn't make sense to make a seam in the middle. And if you don't line them up, I think it just does not look nice. So I decided just to cut the pattern on the fold. But with the pockets, very nice detail like this. So I will close up the bottom here, and then we will go to the back. And what we're going to do first is sew the darts on both sides, and that means you line up here the 2 pins or points that you marked on the top, pin them together. And what I always do when I sew darts is here the bottom pin I will just put through the fabric, just standing up like this, because then when you fold your fabric together to sew, you can just pull here on that pin, and then you get a nice fold here for your dart. You can just sew like that, and then you don't have to figure out how you should make that fold, because when you just pull here, you automatically get here your fold because you have pinned here the top. So we do that for both our darts. Now we will be working on the back, and what we're going to do now is we're going to put in the zipper, and what you do is you place the two back patterns on top of each other, and you pin the mid back seam from where your zipper ends till where your slit will begin, and make sure again that you line up your lines. And I will put in a normal zipper. Mine is a little bit too long, so I'm just going to cut that off. I'm not going to do an invisible zipper for this part because this is just a casual skirt, and then a normal zipper will do with top stitching. So what I do is I always start with the top part doing a basting stitch till where the zipper will end, then do a normal stitching, and then do a back stitch so that the opening of the slit will not get loose. And after that you iron open your seam allowance, and then we pin in our zipper. Then when you press the seam open, you place your zipper with the teeth exactly here on the seam where the seam is, and you place that on that seam, and you pin that from the right side. You can also sew it from the wrong side, but I don't mind top stitching on this fabric, so I'll pin it here on the right side, and I will also pin it on this side. And if you're not confident on sewing in zippers like this, you can use Wonder tape. That is a double-sided tape that will dissolve in water, so when you wash it, it will just disappear, and you place that then in between the zipper and your seam allowance here, and then you can glue them together, and then your zipper won't shift because you want your lines to be connected again. And of course you have your stitching here, but especially this seersucker, I noticed that sometimes it will shift because when you have a bubble and then not, then sometimes it will just go a little bit beyond where you were planning to sew. So you can just put some Wonder tape in between. So we're going to sew now our zipper from both sides, and when you've done that, you can open up here your basting stitch and take that out till the end of your zipper. Is nicely in, and what I did then is I pinned the back and the front on the side seams to try it on. You know, I will try it on several times when I make something because it is my basic pattern, so it should fit me, but a different fabric can work out differently, and this was the case also because when I tried it on and I saw the front, I thought it doesn't look nice. It was so boxy, and you have the pockets here, but this was quite a lot of fabric with nothing different, so it made me very white. Also I could take it a little bit in on the waistline. So what I did, I think you can see it here with the lines, I made two darts here and I put them in so that you can see the lines are here together and they open up on both sides, and that looks very nice because now I have something going on here in the middle of my skirt and not just that whole boxy plaid fabric that just didn't look good on me. And this gives a little bit more something in the front of the skirt. To get this, I had to put this dot a little bit more to the middle than this one. You see here I have 2 black lines and 2 white. Here I have 3 black lines, but I couldn't, could I? I could just place this here. Okay, so I'm gonna change this one. I can put this one one side, one black line to the side. Oh no, it's not. It's because you see here I have a white line next to the pocket, and here I have a black line, so I could switch it. I don't know, I can see if it looks better or not. Maybe it doesn't really matter because well, it doesn't matter. But I did that just to have a little bit more special here on the front, and it made a really huge difference. It looks way better now, and I said luckily I could take it in a little bit here on the waistline, so it wasn't a problem at all. And that is why I always say try it on several times when you make something, not only for the fit but also how it looks, because sometimes it just isn't what it should be or what you thought it should be. And I especially didn't make the mid front seam. Maybe that was better anyway, but now I will do it with the 2 darts, and that looked really nice because you have here that opening, and that gives a really nice result. So I will sew down my darts first, see if I can switch that to the next black line, and then we're gonna make the side seams just by putting the front and the back together, and sew your side seams and finish that. And then you can also again try it on, because I might also maybe take it in a little bit to the seam, to the hemline, because I'm not really sure if I like that boxy cut. I may like it more going inwards to the hemline, so I'll see how it will look when I pin it down, when I finish my darts. Looking way better here with the darts in the front. Then I pin the side seams and again try it on, and I will take it in quite a bit, as I already thought. So I think I have to adjust my basic pattern, because I lost quite some weight, and you see this is not even a stretchy fabric, and I have on either side 3 centimeters too much, so I will make a more straight line from the hip part here, or the top part of the skirt. Not going in, because then it will be a little bit of a balloon skirt, and that doesn't look good on me. But I will take it in quite a bit on the sides. So we'll sew the side seams. What I will do is, because I have to take off quite a bit, I will first cut that excess fabric off, because otherwise you cannot really be sure that your lines will be connected, because you can line them up here at the end, but it doesn't mean that they are lined up here where you make your stitching. So when you have such amounts of excess fabric, cut it off first to your seam allowance, and then pin it right. And the best way is to pin it in the same direction as your stripes, then you're sure that they will not shift and your stripes will not continue on. Now we're going to work on the waistband, and I ironed on some interfacing on half of the waistband to give it a little bit more structure, then your waistband stays nicely in form and doesn't wrinkle up when you sit down or something. And I ironed my belt loops by folding the sides 1 centimeter in and iron that down, and then fold them double. And then I will top stitch that it will stay nicely put. I will top stitch it on the left and the right side of the belt loops. And then we're going to attach our waistband, and then also sew on the belt loops. And what I will do is I will put a belt loop. I always like to put my one belt loop here where the pocket insert starts. I don't know if you can see it, but when I hold my hand you can see here does it end. So that's where I put it. Of course you put them face down, because you put them up over your waistband, and you can choose if you want. You see I have here the lighter part, I have here the darker part, and you can just choose whatever you like. So I will put one here where the pockets begin or end, whatever you like to call it. Then I will place one on the outside of the dart that I have on the back, and then I will place one here in the middle, and you can do it left or right side from the zipper, whatever you like. It doesn't really matter, but when you have a belt loop in the middle, your belt will not go, your skirt will not go from under your belt, because that is very annoying. So I always want one in the mid back, although there is a zipper. So we'll do that. I'll first will finish the ends of my waistbands by just sewing that down, then flip it to the right side, and then you can pin it on, of course with the right side without the interfacing first, because you want the interfacing to be on the inside of your waistband. So you place the bare fabric to the skirt, and then make sure you have your loops here in between, and pin it down all the way around, and then sew that down. So I pinned the waistbands all around with the belt loops in between. So when you sew your waistband on, you already have also attached the bottom of your belt loops. So we're gonna sew that down. Fold your waistband upwards to how it should be, and you fold your seam allowance in, and make sure that you align them nicely with your stitching. And I always like to put my pins across like this, so that especially when I have stripes or plaids or something, that I can top stitch this from the outside. Then you get a nice edge here on this side. And what you also can do now is fold your belt loops to the upper side and pin them down, and then when you are top stitching your waistband from the bottom, you can at the end go straight on to the top, and when you are on the top you can attach your belt loops in that go that you're doing the top stitching on the top, and then you have your waistband nicely finished. So I'm gonna continue folding this in and pinning it down, and then I will sew it. So you saw I really messed up with those belt loops because you first you top stitch the bottom part, then you pin your loopholes to when you stitch the top part, because otherwise you will stitch here over your belt loops and they will get smaller and then you can't get your belt in between. So first do the bottom stitch, then pin them upward, then stitch the top part. And also wait till you put the mid back hole, because I have to make a buttonhole here now underneath my belt loop, so I hope I will be able to do that. Otherwise I will have to take it loose, the belt loop, and make the button and then attach it again. So stupid, not thinking, very bad when you are sewing. Always think before you sew. But I will do that. I will make my buttonhole here and put a button here on the bottom. Then that is finished. And then the only thing we have to do is here hem the bottom of the skirt. What I think I will do is I will do a very small zigzag with my serger. I have done it before with skirts and dresses. I like that look very much, and because this is really a casual skirt, I think it will look very nice. I have one of those plaid pleated skirts, short skirts, that have that too, and I like the look of that. So I will do that with my serger. You can also do that with your sewing machine. Just make a very small rolled hem with a very tight zigzag, and then you get a very nice small stitching on the bottom of your skirt. And of course you can also just make a normal hem just by folding it in once and twice, and then top stitch that, and also here secure your slit part. So I will just top stitch those and then do the zigzag all around the bottom of the skirt. And then your skirt is done. You can make reinforcement stitches here at your pockets ends, and I won't do that, but what I will do is I will give some hand stitch here on the end of the pocket where they are loose, because then they still nicely put. You don't have to do that, but I don't like it when my pockets are really loose from my skirt. I like them to be attached here on the corners, so I'll just give a small hand stitching that you won't see on the outside. And then you have a nice casual skirt. And then I forgot that we also had our pockets to attach, and the best way to do that is try the skirt on and see what is the best placement for your body type, because for some people it is better to go more to the side seam, for others it's more better to go to the middle. Higher or lower is also depending on your body, so just pin them in one place, try it on and see what looks best on you, and if possible try to disalign it from the skirt so that you can really see that this is another piece of fabric than the skirt is. So make sure that the black lines go to the white lines. That looks most nice. So then what I did is I just finished all the edges. What I'll do, I iron them in so that that is already nice and finished. I will first sew here the top part of the pocket, and then it is very easy to sew it on because you have already ironed in your seam allowance. You can just top stitch that down, and this also you can do with double top stitching if you want, with jeans top stitching. And also here for the mid back I didn't do the top stitching, but also here you can of course do that jeans top stitching from double up.
I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. Now I'm waiting for.
So the jeans style skirt in a plaid version, and it is just a very casual, nice skirt to have for vacation or just for casual occasions. It's just a skirt to have in your closet for an easy look, and I really like it. I don't know if you can see it, but it really elongates your legs, because I have very short legs, but when I wear this it looks like I have a little bit longer legs, so I like that very much. I just paired it with a plain blouse. I always like to do it just a little bit minimalist, because then the plaids look way better than when you pair it with more darker colors or more bold colors. I like just the plain simple look, and this is just a very nice skirt. It is nice and airy. The pockets are very nice. I like the pockets like this with that jeans style look, and I think it just looks really nice to have. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below. I think this skirt was pretty simple, especially when you watch the special tutorials about the pocket, how to make the pockets, or how to draw the pattern for the pockets. Then you have some more inside information how to do that. I didn't make a zipper here, but of course you can do that too. If I would use more a twill or a jeans fabric, I would certainly put a zipper here in the front, but I don't like too much bulk here on my stomach. It doesn't really look that nice when you want to make it a little bit more minimalist or a little bit more plain. Then I like it without the zipper, but with the pockets on the back, and with all the stitching, it still has that jeans look style, and it looks really nice, I think. Oh, I want to show you how it looks when I put the blouse over it that we made in the last video. And this is what happens when you pair it with the blouse. I said in the last video, I don't think I will match the blouse with the skirt, although it is exactly the same fabric, and normally you can make a nice dress out of it. But with this, I don't even like it open like this. Maybe you're a fan of it, but it is not my style like this. I think there is a movie, but I don't watch movie or television. I really don't know what it's called, but it's of a girl with a rather preppy look, and I think this is somewhat that look that she would wear. So maybe there are people that like this look. I don't, so I won't wear it like this. But you certainly have a nice blouse and a nice skirt that you can pair with whatever, because they are both very versatile. And if you like this look, please pair them together. And if you rock it, you're good to go. So I hope you liked this video. Certainly try this skirt, maybe not in a plaid but in a twill. I think I will make a twill version pretty soon, but then I think in a longer version, because I know myself I rather wear longer skirts than shorter skirts. But of course when I make it longer you can make it short if you like, with just the same pattern and the same sewing class, so that doesn't really matter. But this is just a pattern that is very nice to make out of all kinds of fabrics, and even this thinner seersucker is very good for this this kind of skirt. So I hope you like this one. I'll see you again next time, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye!